right.
Hey, magic in the making.
You're so good.
Welcome everyone
Great.
welcome to Work in Progress, episode 19, I believe it is.
Oh, you
today.
counted it. We got
Yeah, well,
19.
I just remembered the number for the last episode we
19
uploaded.
whole episodes. We made it.
We're almost to the big 2-0. Two-hoo. But enough dilly-dallying. Starting on my left, we have...
Brandon.
Ian on the other side of the table.
I'm Mitch.
And I am Andrew, your interim host for this lovely program.
Now it's like the Last Supper.
Jake's gonna miss the big 2-0.
He probably will.
Whoa, we need the
Which I guess officially makes me the king of the podcast, right?
Is it?
Because if he's not present, he must be dethroned.
You're like the Earl of the podcast.
The second
Lord.
You're not quite the king.
I'm like a Disney villain. I'm constantly looking for ways to overthrow the
to
king.
become the king.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, I'd be such a good king if I wasn't so evil and people...
I don't know what I'd do if I was king, but I'd be such a good one.
Dude, speaking of Disney villains, can I just mention for a second that I saw Frozen
Oh,
over
how is
Thanksgiving
it?
weekend, and it was amazing.
I heard it was very good.
It's so great. Disney is really on a fucking roll right
Well,
now.
all right, I like
you
to
know?
hear that because it really didn't catch my appeal. But
Yeah.
now that you said something, I might go check it out.
I mean, well, let's see. Like
My appeal is caught.
their last couple movies were Wreck-It Ralph,
Which was
Yeah.
amazing.
Winnie the Pooh, which I actually watched and is very, very good. It's
I just
much
heard it was
simpler.
really, really short, like remarkable.
Yeah, well, it's short and it's simple. It's more.
Yeah.
It literally is targeted more towards children, but it's still
Heard it was
it's
great.
pretty funny, really. There's a couple really good jokes in it, and Tangled before that.
Which was also
And
Which
we
was
know
amazing.
your love of Tangled.
I love Tangled. For anyone who doesn't know, it's my favorite Disney movie. So it definitely feels like in the same vein as like Tangled and Wreck-It Ralph. Like they're on that real quality roll. And just like it's definitely in that same family. It's more Tangled than Wreck-It Ralph because it's kind of back to your traditional Disney princess story kind of thing.
And some brave dude.
Yeah, and some brave
wacky
dude.
I
sidekick.
might, for a favorite Disney movie, I might have to give it to Emperor's New Groove.
Oh yeah, I
might
forget
have
that.
to get to
I don't
that.
know why I forget that.
I say you shouldn't be forgetting that.
I don't forget
there's
it.
There's someone else in your apartment who
It's
really
just,
favors
it doesn't
that,
really feel like a Disney movie.
No.
Yeah, it's
but I
different.
don't forget the movie.
I get tied between that and Hercules, but I think I have to give it to Emperor's New
Hercules.
Groove.
But most people,
Jerkules.
they think about Disney movies, think about the Renaissance and princess
Well, especially
stories
our
and
age,
musical
'cause,
numbers. And,
Oh, yeah.
we grew up with that shit.
Emperor's New Groove. There's no princess in it. It's kind of like a buddy comedy.
I think that's why I like
Well, like my personal favorite animated
Yes.
film, The Road to El Dorado.
Road to El Dorado. Which
Yeah.
is not Disney. That's
With
DreamWorks.
yeah, it's a DreamWorks film. But
Love that.
Emperor's New Groove, it doesn't have any of those classic Disney tropes. I mean, it's still got kind of an over-the-top villain.
What's his name?
But there's no real musical
And its
numbers
humor
to
is
it.
different.
Yeah, it's very
Yes.
it puts more emphasis on being funny as opposed to
Yeah.
being heartfelt, which is kind of the
Not the
Disney
Disney
trend.
code.
yeah. A lot of the time they'll go.
Yeah, we'll throw some jokes in there, but
But really,
we're going for the
Serious.
heartstrings. We're
no.
gonna kill his father.
As for
And
Frozen,
then we're gonna sing Hakuna Matata.
and I'd really like you guys to see it so I can confirm more on how great it is. But
Okay.
the music is really really fabulous.
Is it sweet,
It
got
is-
any
it is
singing?
a great what?
Do they sing? Is it-
Yeah, there's lots of singing.
Okay.
I think there's 9 or 10 musical numbers in it.
Excellent.
Well, and the voice cast, like if you look at it, you're just like, how would they not be doing musical stuff? Because, well, Kristen Bell voices the lead, and I didn't know she could sing, but apparently
I
she
do
can.
adore that woman.
She's but aside from her, there's Adina Menzel is the voice of her sister,
sure.
who's a huge.
I know the snowman is what is
Josh Gad,
Yeah, who is in Book of Mormon.
Book of Mormon, yeah.
Oh,
and
right.
can also
Right.
sing very
Right.
well in his own right.
Yes.
Jonathan Groff plays the male protagonist. He's
Oh my.
got a big Broadway pedigree.
Sure.
So there's lots and lots of music. It's very musical. It's a very very pretty movie. We went and saw it in 3D because my mom was paying.
Yeah, okay, give me those glasses.
That's about right.
Hold on. Shout out to Andrew's mom.
Shout out to my mom. Well, actually, we're recording this one day after my mother's birthday.
Hey!
And she probably won't be listening to this, but just in case she does, happy late birthday,
Happy
Mom.
birthday.
Whenever this pops up. So yeah.
Coming to Springfield, I'll buy you a car bomb.
I don't know if that'll happen.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Would you
it
say
will.
a
A car bomb?
Right.
What did you think I was?
I thought you meant a car bomb.
I'll blow up
Like
your
a
car.
real
like
car
a real
bomb.
bomb for cars. No, go on.
People
go
didn't
on.
like the beverages anymore, so.
Well,
You switch to explosives.
Well,
Gets a laugh out of people.
yeah.
really,
people laugh,
you
and then
get
I
a
go,
hell.
seriously.
You get a great
You
high.
get a
off
real
of that stuff.
response off.
It's a
of-
great conversation
Exploding.
starter, as you can see.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm not going to waste too much time talking about Frozen. It's really good. If you like Disney movies, you'd love Frozen. The music's great, the voice talent's great. It's funny, it's
I'm excited to
heartwarming,
see it.
it's beautiful as all get out. It's a really pretty movie. Maybe one of the only movies I've seen where a 3D upcharge isn't the worst idea you could have. I almost never recommend it. I would recommend it for like Avatar, because that's about the only way I even find that movie
Gravity.
tolerable.
I'd recommend it for
Well, I
Gravity.
haven't seen Gravity, but I have heard a lot of people agree with that.
Which was surprising because it wasn't actually filmed in 3D.
Yeah.
Which you can usually tell.
That's usually your big tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's how good it was, like, in terms of what they did, is that I didn't even realize it wasn't filmed in 3D. I mean, they even have this one shot where, like, there's a screw, they're repairing this
Yeah.
fucking telescope, and the screw's floating away, and it floats towards the screen. George Clooney reaches out and, like, snags it, and it's like, man, that's gotta be, like, this is gonna be for the 3D camera right here. But no, it was all in post.
Nice.
And it looks really great. Of course, I could go on for quite some time about how awesome Gravity was. Seriously.
Yeah. No, I'd love to see it. I'm so behind on movies right now.
Same here.
I need to get out and see Catching Fire. I need to see Gravity. I need to see Captain Phillips. And the problem is I'm running out of time on all of those because there's more good movies coming down the pipe in recent weeks. I know my birthday is next Friday, and the cinema's birthday present to me is David O. Russell's new film American Hustle comes out.
Oh,
David O. Russell's American Hustles.
You've been planning that all day.
Which has a fantastic cast: Jennifer Lawrence, Bradley Cooper,
Bearded Christian Bale.
Yeah, it's basically an all-star cast from all of David O. Russell's movies kind of thrown together. It looks fantastic. That's going to be my
And
birthday
it's,
gift.
David O. Russell.
Yeah, who's awesome.
I support him.
So there's
And
that.
his works.
The Wolf of Wall Street comes out soon.
Sure.
Just
Have you seen the trailer for that?
I haven't actually. Well, like I'm so
New Scorsese movie,
far
right?
behind. Like over Thanksgiving break, me and my mom went to go to like our version of the Palace back home.
Right.
It's right where Mark lives, actually. Like
Cheap,
we go-
like,
yeah.
like
It's like the movie's
monthly,
just about to
but
become
they're
like
cheaper.
DVD,
Right.
So you get cheaper tickets. But me and her got to go see Ender's Game. Finally, I really wanted to go because I read the book and I forgot. Like my mom also had to read the book, so she's like, "Let's go see it."
Oh, she had to read it?
Yeah,
She
she I think she helped me read a lot of it, and then I think she had to help my sister read it for like a class.
Oh,
Apparently,
wow.
after that, she had to read it. So, if you read the book, the movie's awesome. I don't know if you haven't read it going into it, but
I haven't read any of
I enjoyed it. It's
I know
fun to
there's
see.
3 of them, maybe?
There's like a lot of them.
Oh, like a lot of them?
Like several, yeah.
Okay.
everything's a trilogy.
It does pretty good though. Like I think
Trilogy
this
is
one's
so
like
nice.
4 or 5 actually.
I love a good trilogy. It's just such a perfect
Perfect little
shape.
It was something that got mentioned on the Rooster Teeth podcast this week. Shout out to another podcast. But Bernie had just gotten back from watching Catching Fire, and
Nice.
he said he was kind of bugged by and it's something that's apparently bugged him for a long time. It's like how everything's a trilogy, like
Yes.
everything.
Like everything.
And he's like, there's always this pattern. There's the first movie that tells a complete story in and of itself, and of course this could
It
be
has
applied.
to
This could be a trilogy of books or a trilogy of movies or whatever. I'm just saying movie because that's what we're on about. But which has an ending kind of in and of itself because it's like we're gonna throw this out there and see if people want more.
But it's an introduction
It has
movie,
to be,
so it has
yeah.
like kind of a rounded. I mean, there's still room for shit to happen. It's like the first Matrix movie. It's the best example of that.
Like the first
Yeah.
Star Wars.
you didn't need another. Or the first Star Wars is probably
Star Wars
the best
tells a
example.
self-contained story, but
Yeah,
it introduces such a
war to
big
go
loss.
on, but they blew up the fucking Death Star. So let's hand out medals and go home.
Yeah,
Like,
so he says that, and actually Star Wars is basically the prototypical trilogy.
actually
that
really
discusses
I
it.
think
Yeah.
that's part of what started the whole that
It could have
Indiana
been.
Jones,
But,
kind of started the whole action movie trilogy thing. As
Yeah.
for books, I don't know. Maybe that's been something that's been around for
Maybe.
a while.
But, his criticism of the format was you have the first movie that's self-contained in and of itself, but then once they realize that this idea will make money and it's time to make more of them, they immediately greenlight a trilogy because that's like the next step. It's like
Well, they did
okay,
it for
make
Amazing
2 more.
Spider-Man too. Like before even it came released, they're like, by the way, Amazing Spider-Man 2's been greenlit.
No
we
one-
have no idea how it's
No,
going to
no
turn
one
out.
ever greenlets one sequel anymore. Like
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
of the time, it's like okay, we're gonna pick that up for 2 and 3.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he said his big
Preemptive
criticism of
strike.
it was then your second movie almost always ends
With the
on
cliffhanger.
on a cliffhanger, just set up
Which
the
is
third one.
also,
Star Wars.
straight out of Star
Exactly.
Wars.
Star Wars is the
And,
prototype for this idea.
absolutely.
And
And of Empire Strikes Back, you got the cliffhanger, right? Because the
He's
whole
gone.
fleet's
But let's hug each other.
Yeah,
while
let's
we
hug
look
each
out
other,
into
look out in
space.
space, and don't mess with my mechanical.
I don't have a
hand.
hand. My
Figure
best
out how
friend
to
is
masturbate.
frozen in space. I guess the arch villain that we're fighting is also my father.
That one's the biggest on his mind, you know.
I don't know. When
There's
I
a
first
whole
saw it,
pie chart of things
I
he's
would
thinking
be
about.
concerned.
when I first saw it, I was considerably more traumatized by Han Solo being frozen in carbon.
Right? That was
I was
the
like,
bigger deal.
Luke,
Like,
I don't care. I don't care about your problems, Luke. Someone rescue Han.
and you look in the last movie,
love
that's
you,
the
Han.
first thing they do, right?
Yeah.
They
Oh, yeah.
knew that's what you wanted. They knew. We better just go fucking rescue Han Solo.
We're gonna have to.
We're gonna have to
Or
do
a lot
that
of people
like,
are going to be very mad.
immediately. No beating around the bush for that one.
The people on the internet will be furious if the internet was a thing right now.
If the internet was existed
if it was
back
a
then.
thing.
Yeah. It will when the special editions come out.
So I wanted to point this out.
The internet's gotten all of its retrospective bitching about Star Wars out of its system now. We've bitched about it enough for several decades.
So
Oh
you'll
my
like
God.
this. I thought of you because we had our special rant episode, and you capped it off with that glorious Dexter rant.
No.
So, I spent most of today just kind of recovering from a cold, and my roommate Josh has been rewatching Dexter because it is now on Netflix.
Yeah, the whole thing.
And so
The four good ones.
yeah, so we're watching, like, we just finished up season 1 and we're watching season 2, and I'm like, man, I remember how, like, enthralled I was by this. And I'm still loving this right now. And there was a moment that I'd completely forgotten about that is just such gold line reading that I'm a little mad that I had forgotten about it. It's with, of course, one of my favorite characters, James Dokes. This is
Dokes.
spoilers, you all know about
Gone
it.
too soon.
Is this the surprise?
No.
Oh,
This
okay.
is this I thought actually after years
Surprise,
of enjoying it,
Surprise.
I think I found one that's better.
Okay.
So it's
Lay it
season,
on me.
it's season 2. He's trying to capture Dexter, and he goes kind of AWOL to go get the slides.
He goes off the grid, right?
He goes to like Haiti of all places.
Yeah,
he's like, I need these slides analyzed, motherfucker,
You really freaked me out, Dix.
because he's jokes. So he
I got my eyes on you.
So he goes out of town and to go analyze this. So meanwhile, other cops at home are like, we think James Dokes is the Bay Harbor butcher, and Dexter's like, oh,
You're right.
you're right.
You know, that's a good theory.
You know, I never
totally
thought of
not
it, but
me.
now, like, it's a usual suspects moment. It's
You know,
all, it's coming
I'm
together.
always saying that guy really gives me the creeps.
So there's this glorious moment where he's in Haiti, and then LaGuardia, the police chief, is talking to him on the phone. She's like, "They think you did it." He's like, "I did not do it. No." And there's this great moment where she just goes, "Dokes, they found the slides in the back of your car," and he just goes, "Oh shit." I thought it was so beautiful.
That's not the best response.
There's not even. You completely believe him because he's just like, "Oh shit."
Oh,
You're like,
shit.
"You're right, buddy.
Dexter.
You're right. You're fucked.
You're absolutely
That's pretty bad.
Stay in Haiti, dude." Or
Hard
something.
to come back from that one.
You should just stay out of the country. You don't want to come back right
yeah,
now.
seriously.
I
man.
just thought it was so funny because I'm like,
That is
that's
funny.
not even acting. You're just very honestly going, shit.
Damn.
Even if it was just him looking at his character from the outside, he's like, there goes my character.
I know he's going down at this point.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've looked him up on like Wikipedia or whatever, and the only other thing mentioned in his Wikipedia, like little synopses, that says this actor worked alongside Nicolas Cage in the what's the big one that Nicolas Cage is known for doing?
National Treasure.
National Treasure.
Did?
Is that really it?
And he said, yeah.
Really? That's the
And
one.
what bothers me is, like, I read it, it says, worked alongside Nicolas Cage and, in National Treasure, and I'm like,
Dokes in National Treasure.
he's in it for, like, a second.
I
found
I'm
him.
going to go watch it.
I found
Yeah, I'm
him.
gonna
right
go
now,
look
later,
for it.
guys.
Yeah.
So when it says something like that, like, it says, worked alongside this actor, you think, like, at least a secondary character with lines or something. Nuh-uh.
No.
Itty-bitty extra in, like, one scene where he's, like, holding up, like, the frame the Declaration was in. He's all like,
That guy stole the Declaration.
Which is
See?
what
It's not
which
in
is what
here.
he would be saying if he's given a line. So I found that quite amusing.
Well, when you phrase it "worked with Nicolas Cage," makes it like they had conversations.
Exactly.
Like,
They might not have even ever been on set together.
probably
They
not.
weren't.
Maybe in passing. Maybe they both ate at like the
They
conversation.
high fived maybe.
They were both getting a bagel from the caterer at about the same time one morning.
You know, they caught each other's glance, and that was it. You know, and then
As he
this
was
one
going
guy's
like,
like, "Yeah, they work
"Hey,"
together."
Going on.
Well, they work together has a better ring to it than one time Nicolas Cage offered a friendly wave. He's like, oh wow, He's a big actor.
Gave a generic grin,
Nicolas Cage
Hey.
smiled at him once
and he ran away.
in passing.
It might have been the person
Nicolas
behind.
Cage.
Once brushed against George Clooney's arm at an awards banquet. You know what I'm saying?
Got some of his, suit fibers on his suit fibers. It's going on IMDb. Man, Nicolas Cage. That's a podcast in and of
That's a
itself.
guy right there.
That's a guy right there. Oh my god. Well, I mean, we just watched not just watched, but we watched The Wicker Man.
Fairly
The new
recently.
one.
Did you?
Yes.
When did you guys do that?
Phone okay?
That was probably a couple months ago now.
Nice.
It was one of our bad movie nights.
Yeah, by the way,
When do you
we
start
have
those up again?
our next bad movie set up.
Oh man, what's it gonna be?
What is it?
It's on Netflix. It's an old classic. You may have seen it. It's called Doom 2.
Yes!
Note that that's DHOOM 2. Have you seen it before?
No.
Oh!
It's a Bollywood
It's
film
glorious.
Oh, Lord.
about,
Wow.
and I quote, the smartest and coolest thief worth approximately $3 million.
I used to be the bomb at the college.
It's a Bollywood action movie about this awesome like international thief dude, and there's dancing, and it's very recent.
There's an
So-
intermission built into the film.
It's true.
I tell you another one I want to work on one of these nights. I really
So
want
that's
to
gonna
watch
be our
it.
next one.
I really want to watch Getaway with Ethan Hawke and Selena Gomez.
Yes, that's on the list. I hear that one is so bad.
It's apparently just
it
awful.
wraps around.
I really like I like that we're going back and getting like some old ones too in there. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, like I love the idea that there's still just absolutely abundantly
year.
awful cinema coming out.
Every year.
We
There are
watched,
new
we
ones.
watched Tyler Perry's Temptation earlier. Did you? And
my
that
God.
was just an absolute abomination.
The climax
to film.
revolved around the fact that like his wife left him for some dude who was more exciting.
Spoilers for Tyler Perry's
Yeah, I'm
Temptation.
sorry if I spoiled that movie. Really, I'm saving
Really,
you.
if you have any interest
Oh
in
my
watching
God.
that movie and you're listening to this podcast, pick one or the other because there's really no crossover in that.
Yeah, we
audience.
don't accept you.
I mean, we would love it if you would rate and review on iTunes anyway, but like honestly, I don't know what you're getting out of this. If you really want to watch that movie,
We're not going to be kind to it. That's
Lovely.
but like
So while we're watching
she-
yours, though, can we keep on going like, get away, get away?
yeah.
oh
that's-
no, absolutely.
Okay, good.
the
Getaway.
AV Club's review of
Let's
Getaway.
get away, stay
The
away.
tagline to the review was "Get away, stay away."
Love it.
But yeah, Temptations is like this woman. I don't even remember where she works.
She worked at like a
She's like
some big girl
some
job.
business big girl job, and she meets this.
No, it's like a matchmaking company.
Oh
That's
my
what it is.
God, that's
And
right.
this hot shot like
elusive billionaire
Yeah,
playboy.
This hotshot, like
mysterious
they call
man.
him like the new Mark Zuckerberg in the movie or something.
Yeah, that's
Just this
what they call him.
handsome black motherfucker comes walking in one day, and he's got his eyes on her. You
And
know?
he's like doing smooth talk while they're on a private jet. He's like, let's have sex on this plane. And
She's
like,
married
no,
now.
I
She's
can't.
married.
Okay. And the
Wait, she
climax.
says, no, I can't, okay?
I mean, basically. Well, I don't know
yeah.
if they do it on the plane. They
no,
do it.
they do it. On
Well, yeah.
Do they?
Or at least it was heavily
And the
implied that
climax
they did it on the plane.
is that he has AIDS.
Wait.
I'm fucking serious.
He's so serious.
I'm dead fucking
So, the
serious.
climax-
And the husband like bursts into this millionaire's house like, don't give my wife AIDS.
Because, like, I'm guessing the husband is the main character.
No, she's the main
She's
character.
the main character.
The husband's like side exposition guy.
And he
like,
shows up at the end and he's like, don't give AIDS to my wife. And he throws
Joke's
the guy
on you
through a
though.
window.
She's already got it.
And she already has AIDS. They break up, and it like flash forwards to her telling this story as like a marriage counselor, and that's why you should, stay with your marriage.
And she
I got AIDS.
she like 5 years later like runs into her old boo with, like
At the pharmacy.
with like his new thing, and she's like picking up her AIDS medicine at the pharmacy. It's like this is the most awful fucking thing I've ever seen in my life.
It is the weirdest fucking. And they just pull it out of nowhere. It's like, oh,
Is he like-
you haven't heard about this one guy? This one person telling the
Yeah.
husband, like, yeah, he has AIDS. And he's like, I have to get to the car. Like, action sequence immediately afterwards.
He like beats the hell out of the dude in his own like
Throws him through
throws
a
him through a
window.
window. Yeah,
That serves no purpose. It's a window from his bedroom to the kitchen.
and he throws him
Throws
through
him
it.
through it.
It's like it's literally in the house just in case
Just
someone
in
needs to
case.
throw someone through a window. You know?
Well, see, like, in my head, I'm picturing it as
It's
being
just
like,
ridiculous.
don't give my wife AIDS. You can have sex with her, but don't give her AIDS.
It's
No.
it's appalling, really. The fact that is like
wow.
their twist. Like that is the twist of the movie. If
It's bad enough that like most of the movie, like her like conflict is like, oh,
Should
should
I have
I
sex
cheat
with
on my
this awesome
husband?
guy?
It's like if you're having relationship problems, maybe you should like I don't know work on that, and if it doesn't work, break up, then have sex with someone else. Like that's the message that needs delivered into this movie. The question should never be, should I sleep with that handsome millionaire?
he might have AIDS. I mean,
Hope he
that's
doesn't
not-
have that.
It's like it's so contrived that they needed to invent another consequence for that action.
Yeah, like there was
Her
no real
sleeping with him
conflict.
is bad enough. They could have just broken up the relationship and been like, "That's your fucking problem," and just made him because the guy ended up being
Yeah.
kind of a douchebag anyway.
Yeah,
it's
like he was weird and violent. It's like, oh, what you
could have
what
done
you
it
did,
like
baby.
Could have done it like yeah, he hits her.
Yeah,
he
he
hits
hits
her.
her.
Remember?
Yeah, he hits her mom. Remember? He
Yeah,
hits her mom.
That's right. It's so.
This happens.
Yeah,
So many
that
spoilers
alone
to
is
Oh, my
like
God.
just the rom-com formula
It's
in and
really
of
like a
itself.
terrible
she
soap
makes a
opera.
horrible choice, and it turns out like the guy's an awful person, and it's like I
And
made the wrong
gave her-
thing, and she like
Yeah.
goes back to her hubby, is like I'm sorry that happened, whatever, and then they like they work through it. Maybe 3 years down the line, everything's fine again, and they're like, remember that time everything went to shit,
But
and
no,
then
that
we
doesn't
fixed
happen.
it all. But then they had to add in like another layer of why this is a horrible idea.
It's like you
don't
sit
cheat
there-
on your husband because you might get AIDS.
I mean, really, and that's like the advice she gives to this woman at her
Like,
at her
in the
marriage
years
counseling.
ahead,
And
yeah.
it's like, and that's why you shouldn't do that. And the woman's like, taken aback, like, wow. And thank God you've given me this tale.
And I should point out that it's a really dull movie
Oh,
up
it's
until the
so
last
boring.
30 minutes or so. It's not good at all,
No.
but it's also not like hilariously bad like we usually
Well,
like.
a lot of times it's just straight up boring.
Yeah, it's really boring. The best you can get out of it is that there's a lot of really bad acting. Kim Kardashian is one of the
Kim
leads.
Kardashian.
She'll tell you everything you need to know.
Among
There's-
her skills, of which I don't know of any, she cannot act as
There's
well.
there's some bad acting. There's a couple pretty hilarious lines, but like for the most part, the movie is just really really boring. But God
Last,
Almighty,
that third
just
act,
the
man.
climax bring it so far into gloriously bad territory. It literally it saves the movie.
Total sense.
It
In
makes it
this
so
awful
much more
way.
watchable, like, in the worst way. Like you wouldn't recommend it
worst
to anybody
fucking way.
except people like us who enjoy watching bad movies.
Yeah. But there's a difference between the movies that are bad and you enjoy watching them because they are bad, and
then
the movies
this
that are
is
just
very
like
true.
they're bad and
Don't
they're,
watch
and they're
this.
dull.
Yeah.
Like they sap the life force out of you. And that movie is kind
Which is
of
what
like
bad comedies
that much.
usually are.
Right.
Bad comedies, yeah, those will just drain your life force. Like, oh my
Yeah.
god, a bad comedy.
Give an
I
example.
saw
Well, like any of
the
date movie or epic movie or like Meet the Spartans.
Heartbreak Kid.
Heartbreak Kid is
That
probably
movie was awful. And it kills you to see these people who you know can be amusing or at least are talented.
Yeah, Ben
That's
Stiller's
even
in that,
worse.
right?
That's even worse. It's one thing to see people
Oh,
you never had any
wait.
faith in.
Who was
I don't
in
remember who
Heartbreak
the woman
Kid?
is, but
Is
it is a
Alan
name.
Ackerman. Ackerman.
Yeah,
Is it?
that's the one where he. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What that one? Sorry,
That-
sorry.
It's like they get
I-
married on like a whirlwind romance, and she turns out to be really annoying, and that's basically
Doesn't it
the
have
whole
his
story.
dad in it too?
Probably.
I mean, maybe
I think I saw like 15 minutes and then left.
it's really bad, and
like-
it hurts to
And
have
like
people.
we rented it, so
Yeah.
like I left my house.
Like I walked out of the house until the movie was over because I didn't want
That's
to be
how much
near
of a
that
statement
thing.
I needed to make.
It's like radiation. You just have to get away from
just
it.
needed to leave.
You can't get up to the,
The only
source.
other
You'll
time,
die.
the only other time I've done
outside.
that has been to the one time when my parents rented Norbit.
Oh, why?
No,
I don't know
man.
why.
I haven't
Why?
seen that,
They
but
didn't-
I
it was-
I assume it's awful.
I would
It was
bet
my
it-
parents. This is. I'll just
Yeah.
say this though. It was. We rented it. It was my parents, my sister, and me. First 10 minutes, I was like, okay. I left the room.
checking the watch.
Went to the other room. Played probably like Star Fox or something for like 2 hours.
Star Fox Adventures.
Yeah. Star Fox Adventure. Yeah. And then I walked back into the room just as the credits were ending, and Dad was like, "Have you been in there playing video games all day?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "You made the smart move."
Why couldn't I have thought like?
And I
you,
said,
son?
"Why did you stay?" He's like, "I didn't want to get up." I'm like, I understand that.
Chair's too comfy.
Like I
Sit your
said,
dad
saps the
movie.
life force. Like you
Yeah.
don't have the will to move.
Oh yeah. Well, by that point, he was just like, "This is awful."
I'm not.
I
moving.
I might as well.
Where's my
finish
Snuggie?
the darn thing.
Just gonna cozy up
I'm just
here.
gonna fall asleep here.
But no, we saw Temptation or Temptations. I don't.
Yep.
It's
Tyler Perry's.
It's Tyler Perry's Temptation. Confessions
What?
of a Marriage Counselor.
That's the full title.
heard of
That
this.
is-
Let me
I've
let me
heard
drop
of the
the
full
whole
title.
awful title on you.
Yep. But we saw that. We saw
We watched The Wicker Man.
The Wicker Man,
Uh,
which is also kind of boring at the beginning because it's like they're trying to be
Boy,
mysterious.
does it come together!
But once again, that third act, when you have Nicolas Cage in a bear costume punching ladies to steal bikes, this happens.
This is all true.
Like hat, like
Like
Killing me
bear
won't bring
hat.
back your goddamn honey.
Oh, that's what that was.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Why is he
It's
as in
surreal.
a bear costume?
I don't remember. It's
'Cause I've
part
heard
of
a
the
lot
ritual.
I've heard a lot
Yeah.
It's
of
like
lines.
somebody dresses up like a bear as part of this pagan ritual, and he like
'Cause, you know.
intercepts and becomes the bear and causes a ruckus.
Because it allows him to infiltrate, you know?
Yes.
It's a metaphor.
Then he punches a lady.
But there is this shot where he just like straight on, lady standing there, he runs up, bam, right in the gut, and just steals her bike and runs off. Like,
And it's just, it's almost even better out of context, just because it's just...
yes.
Like, if you just watch
like
that
a
part of the
what the
movie, it's
fuck
Nicolas
moment.
Cage in a bear costume,
Yes.
running up and punching a lady, and it's like, what?
But that one was awful in a great way, partially due to Nicolas
I'm dying
Cage.
to ask, have you seen any bad movies lately, or any ones that you'd want to?
I haven't seen a lot of movies lately, so no.
Fair enough.
We also watched Alone in the Dark.
How
Alone
is
in
wait,
the
new one?
dark.
The one with
Yes.
Christian Slater. And,
The
I
one
knew they-
directed by Yu Bull or
Yeah.
Yue or who
Yeah.
the fuck cares.
Oh,
Christian
okay.
Slater and
Yeah.
Tara Reid are in it, and it was...
I thought I heard like
That one was just wretched,
Yeah,
man.
that was
There's
pretty
like
bad. I don't even remember much about it.
like not only was it wow.
It was not a good experience.
That one was bad, and I wasn't so much amused as I was like amazed by just how bad it was. Like it was a weird kind of bad.
wow.
Well, there's this one action sequence. Like the only part of the movie I truly remember
Okay.
is this sequence where like all of the aliens or whatever the fuck are coming after him, and they go into this like psychedelic montage.
And they're playing like the rock music.
And they're like, and it's just them shooting at different angles and shooting, and
Just
the camera's
flashing lights
like
and bullets.
swishing around them and
That
stuff.
literally does happen. Oh my god.
yeah, that
I
scene,
remember
that scene really sticks with me. Like from
Yeah.
that movie, I remember. And they end up in like some weird technology bunker underground, and they
leads to the aliens
yeah,
or
it's
something.
like this giant fucking.
And the exit for that cave leads to like a suburban house or something.
it's
Yeah,
weird.
that one was just. Oh,
I don't know if I've ranted to you guys about this one. This isn't even one of the good bad movies that like we enjoy. Like I was just kind of disappointed by it.
Uh-huh.
You guys, did I ever rant to you guys about Knowing?
Oh, I have.
Okay.
Go back to
I've
Nicolas
heard a lot
Cage,
of
well.
disappointment.
It is
around
another
that
Nicolas
movie.
Cage one. What kills me is
Well, I'm
like
sure he's got a lot of eligible candidates for this.
Right.
what kills me about this one is like Dad rented it on a whim, and I was like, all right, whatever. So we started. I knew nothing about it. I didn't even know Nicolas Cage was in it. I was like, all right, whatever.
And you're like, oh, Nicolas Cage.
So we started watching. I was like, oh, there he is, you know, and like.
The man himself.
And then I started going, maybe I should go into the other room and play a video.
I still got Star Fox.
I still got Star Fox. And then I got drawn in. I was like, okay, whatever, I'm game, I'll bite. You know, I'm going to spoil the plot for you all.
Go for it. I've heard it.
This one girl, like...
Knowing
likes-
spoilers as well. If you watched any bad movies
What is this,
recently,
like a 6-7-year-old movie now? I think we can.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna spoil
Statute
it.
of limitations.
It was a sled. It was a sled.
Rosebud was the sled.
Yeah, I mean,
What?
we already totally dropped the bombshell that Darth Vader is Luke's father.
Oh, you're right.
We did it.
We didn't
I'm
even.
sorry,
we didn't even warn-
everybody.
we didn't even
I'm
warn
sorry.
them. So I'm really sorry about that one.
Yeah,
That's a
we
bummer.
forgot to apologize.
That's a real bummer.
Yeah, didn't put up any warnings.
It's like this little girl, for some reason, like... It starts off with, like, this quick little years ago, you know, thing. And,
Like many moons ago. Like,
many moons ago, electricity bill, soar like eagle. It's like this school, and they're getting ready to do a time capsule thing, and they're like, little Allison, or whatever her name is, they're just like, what are you going to put in? And you just see her,
a
like,
shrunken head.
frequently see her, like, just
No.
scratching things on this paper.
like frantically
yeah,
scratching.
and the teacher's like, oh, are you drawing a picture? And the girl doesn't even talk to her, and she picks it up and just a bunch of numbers. She's like, oh, well, I'll just put it in. So they put it in a time capsule. Years later, Nicolas Cage has a son. And he finds it, and he's all just, yeah. And he brings it home. He's like, Dad, check this out. It's a whole bunch of numbers. And Nicolas Cage is like, I don't really care. And so,
That's great, son.
And so
Go
then
outside.
Go outside.
through
Find another one.
through exploration, he starts realizing that these random sets of numbers are like coordinates and then a date and time for just when some big catastrophic thing is going to happen.
And Susie or whatever the fuck little girl.
Yeah, and that this
happened
little
to
girl
notice.
just was writing all these numbers somehow. And so,
Okay.
like, one of the coolest ones is he's he's in the highway, and you literally see, like, a plane crash in front of him, and it's really well done. And I was like, oh, dude.
That's a plane.
Yeah, and Nicolas Cage is all like, this sheet of paper is bad. So he keeps on going through these numbers. He's like, I just got to make sure that my son is never around these coordinates at this time. And so for the last one, a lot of the numbers are missing out of this, and it just is like 3-3, and they're like, we have no idea what that means.
Uh-huh.
So they go through explanation and research. They probably went on Wikipedia. They go to this cabin in the woods where they're like, this little girl who's
Oh,
apparently
yes.
writing this. We have to figure out what this means. And they like find her bedroom and they pick up her wooden
When they
bed
just
frame.
find the girl.
And it's
She's dead?
Dead. Girl's dead.
Girl's dead.
Girl's dead. And so like she flips it up and then it's like carved into here. It's like instead of 3-3, it's like EE, and we find out that and at the very bottom she's like everyone else. They're like, oh fuck, the world's gonna boom. And boom, and I was
Everyone
like,
else, we're all gonna die.
And so I was like, oh dude, this took a turn for the worst for Nicolas Cage.
Just like all his movies, it
Really?
seems.
There's gonna be bees everywhere in people's eyes. And so like he starts freaking out and he's calling news people and this one random neighbor woman who he might have a thing for. He's all like, the world's gonna blow up, and the newscasters at first are like, what Nicolas
Right.
Cage. And then later on, for some reason, they're like, Nicolas Cage was right. The world. And so
The world.
throughout
The
this
whole world.
throughout this whole
Everyone.
thing, the sun is running into like these mysterious bald people
What?
just
Hang
kind
on.
of
Rewind.
showing up. Throughout
Are they
this,
like monks?
Wait, the sun is
They-
running into bald people.
they almost look like was Agent 47 from like the Hitman things, except they don't look as cool. They look a lot more pale.
And okay.
So these people are just like they keep like following him. He's like, I don't know who the fuck these guys are. So finally, Nicolas Cage like runs into one of them. He's like, "What are you doing? Stop coming after my kid!" And like the bald guy just opens his mouth and it's really loud, like comes out. And he's like, my ears! And then when he looks up, they're all gone.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm like, okay, what the heck?
This is getting weird.
So about like at the halfway point, they find the cabin, like everyone's gonna die, and bad things start happening. And then aliens come out of nowhere. They're like, the bald people were aliens. They're gonna take his son and other girl's daughter to do Adam and Eve shit. And I literally went, flipped the table, and
What?
then I put the table back up and flipped it again. And I was just kind of like, really? And then the two kids go off into weird space planet, and they're like, hooray, we're playing with space trees. And then that's it.
Wait, seriously?
That's the
They
end?
take the sun.
So finally, like, the aliens are like, we're going to take your son, Nicolas Cage.
And he's like,
And they're like,
Okay,
we're going to take this one girl
alright.
because the Earth is going to blow up, and because we sent visions to this one little girl.
oh.
And
okay.
Nicolas Cage is all just like, okay. And then they go off, and you see the Earth go.
And the Earth explodes.
And then you see
and-
like
ugh.
little Kal-El Cage and some other neighbor's daughter girl, and they're like, haha, and they're playing like on some space planet.
Let's repopulate with cousins.
Let's fuck because we're 8.
Oh my god.
That's awful.
And that's how it ended.
That's
And
really bad.
I was like, I was really bummed at myself for investing in this.
Yeah, Aliens is a bad twist.
And then, especially when the twist is like
Disappointing.
halfway through,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, that's a really bad little twist. Also,
Like, oh, it's Aliens.
oh, it's aliens the whole time.
Uh-huh.
So yeah,
That's great. Well, that's
That's balls.
Yeah.
I was
sounds
really,
dumb.
I was more angry.
so the reward the audience gets is that the Earth blows up.
Is that the first half is kind of cool, and then nothing.
That's what I heard. Like it just takes.
There is one line from that movie that is in the 100 cheesiest movie lines
Which
YouTube
one?
video we all love, and it's of the neighbor woman. Be like, I'm taking the children. We have to protect the children. It's just for like 5 seconds, and then I was like, oh,
and it's gone.
okay,
And it's gone.
And it's gone. It's not even Nicolas Cage cheesiness. We don't even get the put the bunny back in. We don't even get that. We just get this random woman being like, the children.
Random women can be the star of the show sometimes.
This is
remember,
true.
Remember the happening? And the old lady that
Yeah, I love that. I've only seen that quote, and I love it just because Mark's
The
Mark's
Happening was
reaction.
our first one, wasn't it?
no, Batman and Robin was our first
Oh.
one,
Batman and Bobbin.
and then I think we did The Happening after that, and then Alone in the Dark, and then
Happening was
then Temptation.
funny bad.
Happening was hilarious.
We definitely
Happening
put
was
in
fucking
Doom, too.
hilarious.
The Happening
like-
was amazing.
And a lot of it was, I mean, let's face it, it was because of M. Night Shyamalan. But a lot of it was also due to Mark Wahlberg, probably because of Shyamalan's like direction in that
Yeah.
movie. But he's so awkward.
Well, Wahlberg's
Well,
a lot.
yeah.
Wahlberg's a
He's
lot
so
like Nick
awkward
Cage
in
in
that
that he
movie.
can be really good, but when he's
Off, he's
not,
off.
he can be really, really bad.
What? No.
Go.
So that's the only bit that I found in that movie, and I think that is really funny to watch.
Man, there's a lot of those
the
moments. And
plants
Zoe
are killing
Deschanel's
people.
like this.
Well,
Just when you thought the world
They
could
couldn't
get
get
any more
any
evil.
more.
Well, just from watching that one scene with that old woman saying stuff like that, I would have his reaction. Because she's all like,
To be
"Come
fair-
to kill me in my... What? No!
He does look very incredulous.
I'm very fucking suspicious when he's like, "No, I'm not gonna kill you." Like he's got this weird inflection,
It's a weird read.
And
I
Zoe
think he's got
Deschanel's
the
got, like,
reaction
this-
right, but his
and she's got like this like I don't know,
she's real
plank
airheaded.
emotion. Yeah,
Yes. Like
the
there's no
much as
like there's
emotion
no
is like
brain
a
in there,
plank
and
of
she's
wood.
just
Yeah.
talking like
a plank of wood.
like a robot.
And it's supposed to be like she's shocked,
yeah.
but it comes off as like she's bored or something like.
Now, which, are we talking about the old lady, or are we talking about
Zoe
Zoe
Deschanel.
Zoe Deschanel?
Is that how you pronounce it?
You're pronouncing it right. I've been mispronouncing everything wrong all day.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There was this great moment we were watching again Dexter, and this is just the kind of humor I get when I'm around this guy. We just love messing around, and we're watching like the final scene in season 2 where weird girl who likes Dexter goes back home to Paris.
And then he murders her.
Yeah,
Right.
so she's
And her
walking,
tits.
and just to
That's true.
show that it's Paris, they have to show the Eiffel Tower.
Just
and,
so you know,
and
this
very
is
loudly,
Paris.
I went, "Dude, look, it's the freaking Tower of Pisa."
Wow.
And just because that's the kind of humor that we get along with. Like, he started up, like, I didn't realize he was in season 2 yet, and so he walked up and I'm like, is this the Ice Schmuck Killer? And he goes, "No, that was years ago." It was yesterday. And so it's just been fun because we go through lines and mispronounce like half the things. So we're like, Zoe Deschanel. Just stuff like that, yeah.
She is kind of a big star of her own show now.
Yeah.
It has been
a
for a while.
very good
It's
very good show.
Yeah, not only that, but I hear it is good.
Yeah,
So-
New Girl's
You-
an
you-
excellent
I
program.
haven't seen it, mind you. So I'm just talking about it. But I've
heard
always
things.
liked her. I mean, since I've seen like Almost Famous, I'm pretty sure that's where most people
Oh,
became
yeah.
familiar with her.
Is it sad? Like, I got familiar with her
there's
from the New
500 Days of
Girls.
Summer. which
500 Days of Summer
Yeah.
also.
Muy excelente.
Yes. Yes. I
Shout
enjoyed
out to
that
my
quite a bit.
friends back in Kirkwood who are listening to this. I discovered her in watching The New Guy.
I love the new guy.
Yes, and I still think
The
that
what?
It's one of those kind of cliche teen comedies,
it's a very high
Uh-huh.
school
but it's
movie.
just
But
good
it's a
enough
blast
to
to watch.
not get caught in like the dreck with the rest of them. You
Right.
know, it's just barely funny enough to be like, oh yeah, I remember that movie. That's a good one. Instead of being like, oh yeah, it's one of those.
What's the premise?
It's
It's
this
about a new guy.
it's this guy who's like he's a total dork, and so he just gets tormented at his current school,
Uh-huh.
and he ends up going to like prison for like a week for some really minor crime.
Something happens. He ends
He's
up.
on a church.
Kinda. They're having like this big church rally at like a mall, and he's on medication, and so he just like interrupts it. And he's all like, "Can I get an amen?" And he's getting all into it, and then they arrest him for like a week.
Disturbing the peace or something.
Yeah,
like that.
and he goes in. Who's
He-
the actor?
I don't remember, but it's some black
The guy from Undercover
It's some
Brother.
black guy. That doesn't.
Okay, sorry. That actor ends up
like
that guy's
mentoring
really,
him.
That guy's really funny in this movie too. Like every time he does anything, he has this look that scares everyone because he's kind of small compared to the rest of the prisoners.
Oh, I think I know this
Yeah.
guy.
So he has this look, and every time he does the look, you hear, and everyone is like, "Oh!" And it's really funny. So he's all just like, "What you need to do is you got to go to a new high school
So he
and,
teaches him
and
how
be
to-
a badass." And
Okay.
so he ends up like getting into a new school, and he pretends to be a badass, and then he makes
Does he get
friends.
the girl.
and-
I assume there's a girl and that he gets her.
Who is it? Eliza Dushku?
Yeah,
Really?
that was a douche coop. Duck shoot.
Am I actually pronouncing that right?
Yes, that is how you say
Okay,
that.
I
No,
always, I always feel dirty when I say that.
Kevin Smith coined the term duck shoot when he filmed Jane Silent Bob Strike Back with her,
Yeah.
so I usually call her that nowadays.
like it.
But
I forget she's in that too.
But she's in it, and a very young Zoe Deschanel who has short red hair and looks very
Is
cute.
she a redhead?
Maybe not
I don't think
always, but she
naturally.
was in this.
Oh, crazy.
And she's pretty funny.
Eddie Griffin is the
Eddie
guy.
Griffin. He is a treasure.
Eddie Griffin.
He's very, very funny in this.
Well, you
Yeah,
need his
this fucking
face
picture.
too. Good.
Give me his face.
Good
I want
lord.
to see his face. Show it.
Well, Wikipedia.
He's a
says
big
shit.
Far
far
away.
in
That's
the
a
movie.
terrible picture.
But anyway,
Oh,
yeah.
he's from Kansas City.
That's a, it's a shout out to my friends back in Kirkwood who are watching who love that movie. So
It is a pretty.
that's to you guys.
It's funny.
Have not seen.
Um,
I haven't seen anything.
This is
Jesus.
the-
Actually, I've seen most of the movies.
I haven't
this
seen
year.
anything. That's a lie. I've
That's
seen
a
most
lie.
things.
I've actually been pretty good about it this year. I mean, not a lot of like the biggest movies, but the
Some of the
indie
biggest
films,
movies that I
which I
want.
usually take forever to see,
Right.
or at least wait until about December, because it's Oscar season. I've actually been on top of most of this, so it's pretty awesome.
Very
so you
nice.
need to see Frozen because it's going to win Best Animated Feature this year.
Is there any competition?
Monsters University is probably its
Nah,
strongest. And as someone who's seen both, it should be Frozen by a landslide.
So you
Yeah.
And I liked Monsters University, but it should absolutely be Frozen.
So you keep mentioning Frozen.
For those of you who don't know, I recently started working at Target.
Tajay.
We have this whole aisle that's pretty much like Disney princess stuff.
course.
Because most of our toy aisles are like all pink or all blue.
Yep.
And so we've got so much Frozen like material and memorabilia.
Because
And if
new
you don't-
Disney movie.
Also, if you don't know that's the name of the movie, that sentence makes no sense.
all this
all of
Frozen,
our- it's
all
all
these
Frozen.
Frozen toys.
So we've got a lot of stuff from the movie, mostly like just Barbies and they're like
Yeah.
Princess Annabelle's like magical carriage or stuff. And I'm just going, oh, and so I have like parents asking me about it, and I'm just going, oh, I have no idea. It came out, I know that.
It's
So
right
you should-
there.
You should go see the movie because it will improve how you perform at your job.
I had one woman literally like grab like a Disney princess Barbie pack, and she goes, "Can you tell me all the princesses on this?" I was like, "I'll try."
They listed
That
on
one
the
is
fucking package.
Jennifer,
This is
Franklin,
this is Roberta.
Coca-Cola,
and Zoe Deschanel.
and Natalie Portman. Glad I could help, lady. That'll be
Jennifer
$39.95.
Lawrence.
Wait, Natalie
Alongside
Portman.
J-Lo.
I've heard that before. Yeah, Barbie won an Oscar.
She's a really good one.
She's a really good
You
one,
know,
man.
Black Swan, the Barbie movie.
Oh, okay.
Every time it might
Your
happen.
kids will love that one.
Yeah, why didn't they have toys for Black Swan?
I'm kidding.
No Barbies for Black Swan.
If every movie had toys.
Well, I've
There'd
been
be some weird
ranting
ones
about
out there.
I've been ranting about this Target thing lately because I've been working in toys. I get to see all what's popular nowadays. So we sell Legos, and then we sell the off-brand Legos that are pitched to like
Mega
younger
Bloks?
kids. Yes,
Mega
we have
Bloks.
Mega Blocks.
Yeah.
So we have this whole like a couple shelves of Halo Mega Blocks.
Yes.
Yep.
So like Halo the video game series, and I find this very funny because these Legos are pitched to like 2 to 3 year olds. We're giving 2 to 3 year olds toys of a rated M video game series, which I find kind of
Well,
funny.
no one pays
Still
attention to
Lego
that
stuff.
stuff.
No, I've noticed.
It's-
I've gotten sweared out by many a 4-year-old on
Yeah,
Halo.
it's like
4 years
I
old, huh?
mean, there's kids younger and younger.
We're
and
swearing with words that I doubt
This-
they know what they mean.
This gets bitched about all the time anyway, so I'm tired of hearing about it. But
Sure.
nonetheless, you can't help but notice there's a very large number of young people who are playing like Call of Duty and Halo, and it's like
Yeah.
responsible parenting, please.
And then you see the
I guess this Lego
you
shit
see
isn't
the
helping.
grandmas like,
Right.
You know, but-
Caitlin when she worked at Vintage Stock saw
Yeah.
this shit all the time where I think she had this one woman come in and was like, this game is too violent. My son can't play this fucking game and blah blah blah. I don't remember the title.
Right, yeah.
But
Grand Theft
and then
Auto
she's
Vice
like,
City.
oh well, I guess we can exchange that for you. We can't give you your money back
Right.
because that's not how they operate. But they can exchange it for a different game.
Sure.
Unless it's defective, they can't give you their money back.
Whatever, yeah.
Yeah. So she switched it out for like, I think it was the new Call of Duty, and it's like, what the
Perfect.
You're not even paying attention. No, I'm sorry. It was Dead Space. It was fucking
Oh.
Dead Space.
So not only is it graphic
I think it was
content, but it's
Dead
also
Space.
horrifying.
Yeah. Not only is
It's
it
like double
not only
traumatizing.
is it like zombie baby terrifying, but like
Nothing scarier than zombie babies, let me tell you.
Dude.
And it's like, just so you know, we
Scary.
can't keep doing this. We, can't come back. It's
There's
like,
a
oh wait,
problem.
that one was also too violent. Maybe you should read the fucking box.
Uh-huh.
They even have a little disclaimer, black and white. It's got a letter in it.
Well,
M for mature.
I brought this up to some people at Target.
Use
because
him for mom's approved, obviously.
I brought it up just because I thought it was a little ridiculous. And this one guy goes, "Well, you have to think about it." He goes, "Halo is not the worst series out there." He's like, "It's not like we're
No,
selling
not that
Legos of
long
like
ago.
Grand Theft Auto 5."
And
I'm
as
like,
far
"You're
as,
right."
as like M-rated games go, Halo's like bottom tier.
Halo's not that bad. I mean, it's really...
Dead Space is pretty fucking
There-
high.
there's,
Space
not
is
even,
high.
there's probably not even a ton of like bad language in Halo. It's probably only got its M rating because guns
Blood,
and stuff.
yeah.
But
Because it's
even like
warfare
the
that
blood
takes
is all like
itself
alien blood. Like you shoot stuff and they bleed blue and purple glorp.
Right.
And
Yeah, absolutely. I
you're not
guess
shooting humans unless you're online. So it's
And then you don't treat them like humans. Maybe that's why it's the.
But-
yeah.
and they don't even look like humans. They could just be robots.
It's
you know?
true.
You know, they,
It's true. There's no face there.
See, Halo's really not that bad, which I guess is why I
Sure.
don't really care that there's Legos on it.
Right.
But it does
Then
it
the
does
same
sort of
moms-
send the wrong message, like
Yeah. Well, it's just this feeling like those same moms who make these stupid mistakes are the ones like writing letters and shit, complaining like, "Oh, my son just plays all these violent video games," and it's like if you would monitor what they play,
yeah.
which I fully believe is in your capability to do, right?
Well, it's also that fact, though, too, once they get there, they're like, "Oh, this is why my son's failing at kindergarten." And,
Oh my god.
they like blaming that for a lot of stuff. When I was student teaching, I had one kid in speech class. They all had to come up with some big debate
Okay.
and write like a paper on it. This one kid comes up and he's like, "Is it okay if I write why video games could help education?" I said, "Dude, go for it."
Yeah.
And the guy was all like, "Seriously?" I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, I won't object to that." And he
As long as you can make a case out of it.
He found this awesome article.
so yeah, I love video games, man. You're
Yeah,
Oh yeah, preaching to the choir.
Go for it.
my friend.
This one kid showed me this article. It's all like, "Oh yeah, this one guy who played Kingdom Hearts, his like response timing to anything was a lot higher."
Well, and
I'm
I've
like,
heard like
Yeah.
they did a test on of all things, and this was a recent test,
Yeah.
I believe, of I think it was Super Mario 64, and people who
Oh, is
played
that
it,
one?
as opposed to control group people who didn't play it, had an increased like their brain grew in spatial recognition in the real
Nice.
world, like because they played this 3D game, they were better at dealing with 3D space in reality.
Yeah, because
Nice.
it gives you a better perception of things.
Yeah, and people are like, well, if it doesn't teach them, history facts.
or math.
But
yeah.
you play like a platforming video game, and the things you immediately have to pick up in order to succeed at that game are your character's jumping distance and gauging
The physics.
how and when to jump. And so it's like,
Of
yeah,
the
I mean,
game.
I don't jump as far as Donkey Kong in my real life, but learning like how far, like that sort of thing in
Yeah.
a video game helps me translate
Yeah.
those same skills to real life. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
I can look at like a hole in the pavement and being like, I could jump over that.
Because I play Mario.
It's a silly example, but no, I totally get where that's coming from. There's legitimate science.
Oh, yeah,
inside
and you
that.
can feel this recognition, like each new game you play, like all it takes is a little bit of time, less time each time to figure out the physics of the game, and you've mastered the general movement of it. And you just have to use, the physics of the real world, and you do the same fucking thing. And there's proof because you can see the brain growth, like there's actual
Oh yeah.
increase in brain matter after playing it, which is just awesome. I mean, I never, honestly, and probably not popular opinion, I never really doubted
Yeah.
that video games increase intelligence. I think
no,
it was
I
a
do.
lack of, is a bad perception.
It's just
mainly
one of
because
those-
the kids are so obsessed with it because it's kind of addictive.
It's one of those subjects that
So
it's
entertaining.
that like it's a scapegoat. A lot of people like using it as
Absolutely.
a scapegoat for problems like that. So it
Play
always felt like that.
scapegoat.
See,
Little Yu-Gi-Oh.
I never knew what that meant until I watched Yu-Gi-Oh!
All I knew is that there were goats.
For those of you who don't know, in the Yu-Gi-Oh cartoon, there's a card called Scapegoat, and
Kind
it
of
makes
a
4 goats.
Famous card, I
It's
guess.
very good, and it's a lot of fun. It's just because the goats are really
It's a
cute
stall
looking.
card.
And so years later, when I'm like, by the way, a scapegoat is a thing that people put their problems on. I was like, oh, scapegoat, like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Like a blue goat. Got it.
Like a blue goat.
Like a
Blue, red,
blue,
pink, and white
goat.
Thank you, literature in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Thank you. I've learned something
I
today.
figured everything out.
We learned some from video games and shitty cartoons.
I ended the day like a South Park episode. Was like, I learned something today.
No, but like the whole argument of video games, I've been tired of it since the first time
Oh,
it came
all
around.
of
The
us
whole
are,
Jack
yeah.
Thompson, manhunt bullshit. You
Thank
know?
God that guy just crashed and burned, you know?
Right? No kidding. Like a falling.
That's
like
gotta be
a
one of the
falling
most
comet.
cathartic victories for the video game
He just
community in like
imploded,
all of our
disappeared.
existence.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, we showed that fucking guy.
Yeah, video games. Well, in Penny Arcade 2 versus
Yeah.
Jack Thompson, and you
That
know,
was always good.
I don't know who won, but it wasn't Jack
Tack
Thompson.
Johnson.
Tack Johnson. That guy always looked fucked up.
There's a cat watching us.
That's mysterious.
It does look.
No,
Hey,
he's gone.
go away, you're frightening.
Yeah, he's just looking at
That was
it.
a solid 20 seconds. Yeah.
That was a fixed stare.
I was
Like
like,
he wanted
is he
in.
staying? He was
But-
staying.
But it comes back. Like they find a new way to bring it up every fucking time. Like I remember back in Columbine, they're like, oh, they played Doom.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's fucking why. Because they played the most popular game of that
Ever?
era. Like, one of the best-selling games of all time. But no,
Better watch
this
out.
game's
There's about to be a
one
big
out of
outbreak
like
of shootings.
20 million.
Well, they also use that to blame
Bullshit.
like a lot of music that they did too. Like,
Yeah,
They
Marilyn
went
Manson.
after Marilyn
Rammstein
Manson.
too.
Who
Yeah.
is a actually refreshingly intelligent fellow.
He is actually like a refined intelligence.
He's
to
a
him.
very smart
yeah.
guy because Marilyn Manson itself is like all an act. Like
Yeah,
he's
it's
not
a
like that. He's just like
creation. I don't
but
think
that's,
most people
That's
realize
how
that.
like Kiss sold music back in the day. Was
Alice
with,
Cooper.
Yeah,
Very
it was
intelligent.
personas.
Even
he's
like
one of
Persona.
the
Ozzy.
yeah he's one of the
Yeah.
only dudes today
Ozzy's a lot of it.
still
Well, Ozzy-
channeling
yeah, I
that,
know,
that
but,
old
like,
style of rock and roll.
Where
Where it
he was just talking.
like
yeah.
the attitude and the appearance more than the music itself. And so like he's actually like a really smart, well spoken.
Like, he
guy.
knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
It's not like he's just fucking crazy. Like, his act might make him.
Yeah.
It's really that these parents are so ignorant of the music and ignorant of video games that they don't realize the connotations. I mean, I think it'd be hard pressed to even find, even among like the swearing brats on Xbox Live, any of them who take the violence in the game seriously,
Oh, yeah.
or find that it diminishes, the way that they deal with actual violence. Like I refuse to
Yeah.
consider that. I don't know.
Well, it always just comes down to the same thing. It's like if video games are so bad, why am I so well adjusted? You know,
Why am I not fucking
Why am I not in
a
prison?
sociopath?
Yeah.
because
absolutely.
I've literally been playing them my whole life. Like there was a Nintendo
I find
in my house
myself
when
to
I
be
was
a very
born.
pacified person. Like,
Yeah,
quite
And,
the opposite.
Like I'm
Maybe
not
when
the
I play
least bit
video games.
violent. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Not even a little bit.
I've never really been in like a fight or anything.
Yeah,
Like,
fuck it.
I don't
Just
want to be
play
in a
video
fight.
games.
I'm content with video games. So it's like
I remember my mom having trouble with like GoldenEye.
Oh
'Cause I wasn't allowed to play GoldenEye.
I couldn't play GTA.
Yeah, that was. Oh yeah.
I probably
That
wouldn't
was
have been
a big
allowed
one.
to play
Obviously,
GoldenEye.
GTA
She
should be
let
mentioned.
Jet Force Gemini slide because it was bugs.
Since it was bugs.
Yeah.
I think I had a similar thing happen. Yeah.
I never actually owned GoldenEye. I always played it at a friend's house. So I
Same
don't know
thing.
if it would have
played it
been
at
okay or
cousins.
not.
So that's
It
how I
wasn't
got
good
away
at
with
it
it. Is
either.
that I'm just like, if I'm over at a friend's house, what she doesn't
Can't-
know.
You can't want to see here. I'm in someone else's rule zone, and in this rule zone, GoldenEye is cool.
Yeah, and it's about protecting your child, or in this case, protecting me. But I'm like, these are polygons, right? And the blood is
They're not going to get me, right?
is like paint at most. Sometimes we play with giant heads and use paintballs. Like that's how
Yeah,
serious.
Re-
it is.
That's pretty cool.
the argument that it desensitizes you to actual violence is actually going to gain credibility the further in we get.
Sure.
Because now the games are actually getting more and more realistic. The line is going to become blurred.
I would love it if like Call
back
of
in-
Duty
back
suddenly
in the
threw on,
day-
like paintball mode or something. I would love that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Back in the day, I feel like the argument would have been absurd if to think like people who played Doom or GoldenEye were people who
Yeah,
would be
especially
sensitized to
Doom.
real violence because it doesn't resemble real violence in the
it
slightest.
doesn't resemble anything.
Yeah,
really.
it's a garbled mess, and even more in retrospect, you look at those games and you're like,
How did I play this? This
Yeah.
is the future.
I can't play GoldenEye anymore.
No.
Doom holds up okay, but like GoldenEye's
Well,
unplayable.
pixelated games, they're a little bit of a different story. I
Yeah.
find sometimes.
Well, yeah, like Super
But
Nintendo,
old 3D shit,
Oh yeah.
the N64 era
Yes.
is a weird
That shit
era
was
of
a lot of
games.
PlayStation shit can't do it.
Well, in fact, I was talking about this with a friend of mine. We are switching topics at an alarming rate.
I like
That's
how
all right.
I got
It's
another
our thing.
I was
really.
thing that made me outraged.
I was talking with someone this week. It was on a message board I go to. They were talking about rank every game console you've ever owned. Like,
Okay.
like ever owned.
yeah.
Period.
So I was like, okay, that's basically all of them for me.
Yeah, nice.
So I put kind of the standards
Child
on top of the
fortune.
list, like PS2 and Super Nintendo, I think, were my 1 and 2 because the
Nice.
libraries
Yeah,
are just
good
too
choice.
great. And I gave the GameCube there were 2 things that a lot of people took issue with on my list. I gave the GameCube like my 3rd ranking.
I really like the
Because the GameCube has, in retrospect, an amazing library
It's a
I
small
agree.
one.
and a very underrated controller. I really like the GameCube.
Yeah.
I do too.
And
Wavebird was phenomenal.
something else a lot of
Yes,
people
Wavebird
gave me
was-
shit on was I gave the N64 a fairly low rating in my list.
Gotcha.
And I told them why. I was like, listen, guys, I had an N64 growing up. I loved it. You know, I played Mario Kart, I played Super Mario, I played
Yeah.
Mario Party, I
Played
played,
Shadows of
I
the
played
Empire.
Mario everything, apparently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But it's like I chose to rank these based on how I feel, like how I love them now.
Sure.
You know? It's like, which of these do I pull out most often from their dusty old boxes and,
Gotcha.
and
It's
play? And
certainly
I'm
not
like,
N64.
the N64...
See, for me, that's when I pull out a lot.
Well, yeah, and,
Yeah,
I said your
it's the whole
your
opinion
mileage
thing.
will vary,
Yeah.
but you know,
It's
I
just
say
a phrase.
you play Super Mario 64, Banjo Kazooie, GoldenEye, Perfect Dark,
Maybe
any
some
of those games.
Donkey Kong 64.
Donkey Kong
on
64 is a great one. None of them play very well
Right.
at all. If I were to tell someone today, like, obviously I would recommend Super Mario 64 to anyone who wanted to play it. I'm like, it's a classic game. You should buy it from the Wii Virtual Console and
'Cause
play
it's
it
all-
on a Pro controller.
Yeah.
Because the N64 controller is garbage.
It's an experimental,
Nowadays, yeah.
like,
The-
Triforce
Very
banana
experimental.
thing.
The camera is easier to manage with
very
current
good
controllers, and
It's like a Trident.
GoldenEye is just an absolute mess in whatever incarnation you want to play
Cut
it in.
off the stick.
Well,
You
you're
know,
talking
I know
about
everyone- I know
one
everyone loves-
joystick first-person shooter.
Well,
It's
no,
so
I don't
bizarre.
blame you.
3-hand!
I'm still waiting. I am still one of the many thousands of people waiting for like Conker's Bad Fur Day to finally come up on Xbox Live.
Yeah, because frankly, I'm sorry, but for most of those games to be
The camera's
really
awful for
playable,
them.
they need to be kind of readjusted.
The fact that Banjo-Kazooie is finally out.
Yeah, Banjo-Kazooie was released on Xbox Live Arcade, and it got much better for it. Now,
Sure.
if I were to tell someone you should play Banjo-Kazooie, but download it from Xbox and play it on your Xbox controller.
'Cause they fixed that whole
Because
problem.
the camera is better and the controller is better. So, I mean, that's all
Yeah.
it was. Like, I have great memories of the N64. I will whip it out on occasion to play, like, Pokemon Snap, which...
Yeah!
It hasn't aged great, but it's still
No.
very playable.
It has
I'm
a
so
certain
shocked that
charm, and
no
there's
one-
never been another one.
Very
which
shocked
is
that no
sad.
one has taken it for the Wii, which I think would be perfect.
They
especially
have,
for
like,
like,
camera.
especially for like the 3DS.
The 3DS and the Wii U are both, like, tailor-made for that sort of
Like,
thing.
when is that going to happen again?
But no, it's like...
Especially since the Pokemon library's expanded so much
yeah.
too.
Humongous.
Yeah.
I'll pull it out for Pokemon Snap or like Pokemon Stadium,
Mario
Star
Party.
Fox, Paper Mario, Mario
Even
Party.
Smash Bros. 1.
Smash Bros. And Mario Kart are pretty
they've gotten
okay.
better with age,
they,
but yeah.
they definitely don't hold up as well when
I
stacked up
find
to their
it. I
current
find the
counterparts.
old like Smash Bros to be really slow.
It's very
Yeah,
slow
like,
and,
it
and
feels
not
really
very
slow.
responsive,
Yeah.
which
I'll
we're
give you
used
that.
to responsive in those games.
Yeah, and that's one of the problems with most of those games is not just a graphical thing, but like
Yeah,
they
the
were the
timing.
first forays into first-person shooters or 3D platformers, so they.
I'll
You
give
know,
you
they're
that.
working out the kinks, and there are kinks that have been worked out in the future. We have played those games, and
I'll
the
give
ones
you
that
that,
were
yeah.
improved from those games, and so it's just like you can tell that the games had much to learn going back to them. That second
So yeah,
time.
that was basically my whole point. It was just like, I love the N64. I have great memories of it. I'll occasionally pull it out, but frankly, most of the time if I want to play an N64 game, I will either A,
Usually.
play the version on a newer console, like, you know, the Mario
Oh, yeah.
64 from Wii or Banjo-Kazooie and Xbox Live, or I'll play a more current iteration of that same game. Like,
Right.
I want to
Double
play
Dash.
Mario Kart, but I don't want to play 64, I want to play Double Dash.
Yeah, you do.
Or I want to play Melee or Brawl instead of Smash Bros.
Exactly.
And that's just the bottom line. You know, it's...
Dynasty Warriors 5 billion instead of 2. Good lord.
So, coming back to the original, this is a quick tie back in. So,
Divert all you need.
going
Divert
along
away.
with going along with the Lego things, I feel like this is so ironic that a hipster would be like, I will take it. So we
What are you
got,
talking
Minecraft has gotten so
Oh
popular.
my
Minecraft's
god.
got Lego.
There's
You know
a
where I'm
fucking
going with this.
Minecraft Lego.
There are Minecraft Legos.
That
I have been asked.
Baffles me.
About time.
I have been asked so many times by people, "Do you have them?" And I'm like, "No, I don't."
It's like, can't
And
you
that
just buy a
thought-
box and do it yourself?
It's
Like,
like
do you
Minecraft-
need-
Just go outside and
Legos?
start digging.
I think it's ridiculous. I've had so many people ask me, like,
Basically,
"Do you have
Lego
Legos?"
Legos.
So
I know.
Are you
It's
asking
already
for the Legos based off the
box.
series, based off of Legos? Are we gonna go out to the store and look for the Doritos Nachos Taco flavored Dorito?
We are.
We are.
so weird.
Which
I thought we
is
were. I'm
fucking
so
bizarre.
I'm
by
so
the way.
tired of having like the little Russian
so meta.
stacking dolls.
Yeah.
I can't
And
wait
everything else.
for the Doritos Locos Taco flavored Doritos Locos Taco. Personally,
I mean, that's just a gimme.
I heard the
Like, they gotta
Inception
do
noise
that.
like 3 times.
They gotta do
For
it.
the novelty.
I know.
I really would. Just like
Can you imagine the
just to
commercials?
go up to the window and say it.
Would you like to try the Doritos Locos Tacos flavored Doritos Locos Tacos flavored Dorito? It's me.
What?
There's a song about
Is
it by
it
the
the
artist
taco?
formerly known as Prince.
Is it the taco or the Dorito? That's all I care about. I want one or the
Am I
other.
getting a chip or a taco?
You're getting a
And
shot.
really, with the taco, you're also getting a chip. Oh!
So, guys, I want to talk
required
about
to say that too. You're technically also getting it.
Getting a chip. Oh!
I want to talk about a dream I had. This is big.
Is it about Doritos Locos
It's
Tacos?
not. But I wanted to make a point to say this on the podcast because I think it's really funny. And also, I never remember my dreams at all. So
You gotta hold on to those ones.
do.
I
that you
know.
do
This
remember.
one I managed to cling to just a little bit of
Okay.
it, and it's
What do you
funny, so I like it.
One of these days, we're going to have to do a table read of our friend Chris's script of his dream.
Yeah,
Do you remember that?
I don't think
I'll
I
talk
know.
about it after yours. Yeah.
I don't have a lot because again I only remembered like the back end of it.
Okay.
I can't comprehend the whole thing. It was probably pretty weird before I got to this part too, but this is all I have. So I'm on a bus.
Okay. What
It's
kind
like
of,
it's
what
like a
kind of bus?
city bus.
Like a city bus.
But I feel like it was white, like an ambulance, but
Okay.
it was a bus.
Like you do.
So I'm on this bus with some other people, and like I'm sitting up near front by the bus driver, and we're like driving someplace, and we're on kind of like a country road, but like near town. The best I can say, like up in Liberty, that road by the hospital, you know, that goes by the Hallmark
yeah,
factory.
it feels like it's in
It
the
feels
middle
like
of
that
nowhere for a
road.
little bit.
Yeah, but like you're near civilization, but you're kind of in the country.
Right.
So we're driving down this road, and we see like a tornado up ahead, and so we're like, okay, well that's a problem, I guess.
Right.
We're still driving towards it,
Really?
and
Guys?
then 2 more drop out of the sky, like
Oh.
right next to it.
Oh.
And so the bus driver's like, this is a problem, and he starts backing up. So we're backing up away from the tornado now. But I guess, and again, all of the details are really hazy, so I can't remember why we did any of what we did.
Right.
And I'm sure it being a dream, it wouldn't have made sense anyway, because dream logic is just so much different
yeah, out
than
of whack.
logic.
It's great though when you have like little glimpses of logic in the midst of all this crazy.
Like for you,
Well,
you
my
just say that the
favorite-
driver started backing up. I'm like, good, as opposed to him being like, oh, we're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, this makes sense. We'll back away from the tornado.
Now that there are three.
In a dream, that makes sense.
Yes.
Like,
You're like, oh, thank God, he's finally backing up. If there was only the one though, I think we
I
could
think we
have
could have
gotten
handled
past
it.
but see, we didn't commit to backing up
Okay.
because at some point we stopped and we all got out of the bus.
No,
I guess to like take cover outside
sure.
because that's smarter than being in a bus.
Or turning the bus around.
Backing up too slow.
You can't turn. It was like a 2-lane road. You can't turn a bus around on
Turn that shit around.
That's insane. So we're out of the bus, and we're all like hunkered in this open plain, watching tornadoes bear down on us. And it's me and like 6 or 7 other dudes.
Anybody you know? Just
No one I know.
randoms.
Just randoms, rando people. And
Or they
we're watching the tornadoes come down, and,
Oh, I don't
and
remember.
here's the part where it all gets weird.
Okay.
Because at some point the tornadoes stopped looking like tornadoes and started just looking like people.
What?
And I think the way my brain processed it, or like in the dream, the way I thought about it was, oh, I see. My brain is processing them as people because it makes it easier to understand the destruction they're causing.
What?
Now, did you come to this realization while you were dreaming?
I think that's what I perceived in the dream because I remember seeing them like become people, and I was like, well, that makes sense because this.
Now, do you mean like a legion of swarming people?
No, like just big dudes.
The tornadoes came into giants.
And as they got
I am
closer
a
to us,
tornado.
they weren't actually like big guys. They were just people, like normal guys. Here's where it gets really funny because I'm like first in line, and like
As
I'm
the
like,
tornado
I'm kind of like
people
hunkered down,
approaches.
and I don't really like notice anything, but like I feel something like bump into me, and then I just kind of like look up, and it's like moved past me. So I'm like, okay, so the tornado just kind of rattled me a little, and I'm fine. So I got through the tornado all right, but then I look over to the side, and this imagery really stuck with me after I woke up. You see like these 4 or 5 people that I was on the bus with all kind of like hunkered down and pushing against 3 dudes who are basically just trying to push them over. That's literally all I was seeing. It's just like these 3 dudes just trying to push people, and they were like, "No, man, I'm gonna stay up," and like hunkered down against them.
It's like a movie. It's like we're out of budget. We can't do the tornado
And then I
anymore.
woke up, and I just
stop
thought
the
about.
tornado.
I think the reason it stuck with me was because that was the last thing I saw before I woke up, and I woke up from that, and I was like, "That's really weird looking." And so like I got to hold on to that image for a little longer than I expected, and so I got to maintain that part of
I
my.
imagine the 3 guys like going over to the bus and like, woo, like
And like all just trying to tip it
trying to
around,
rock it.
but
a
they
little
can't
bit.
because they're just normal guys. So that was my dream I had the other night. I'm like,
That's great.
this is a podcast story.
So while we're on the subject, I have to talk to our friend Chris to see if he still has this on his computer. Way back ago, he had this dream that was so bizarre. He just remembered it involved us and these little blue people that weren't quite Smurfs, but pretty close.
Okay.
And I forgot what the name he came up with because apparently, like, the dream gave them all names, and in the dream it made perfect sense.
Because that's how dreams work.
So he remembered just enough, and he wrote like a quick script based off of everything he could remember in like.
In his
In
crazy dream.
And all I can remember about reading the script, which is funny because it's a memory of a memory, is that ultimately he ran into this old one that was like, "You have to protect me from all of these ones, and to do that you need to light me on fire in this one store in the mall." And Chris somehow like banded us together, and we were all like, "All right, let's go do that thing." And so while we were trying to help this guy, like other blue guys were like coming at us. And so apparently, like, one by one, all of us would wander off or, like, get killed. And so, like, 2 of us went off and died. I think by this point it was, like, me, Kate, and him. Mm-hmm. And at one moment I was like, "Oh, hold on, I'm going to go to the bathroom." And I just didn't come back.
He's gone.
And then
We leave him.
and it's not even mentioned, like, I'm not even brought up. They're like, "Oh, okay." Because it's dream logic. They were just...
gone.
Did Jake ever tell you what happened
People are dying.
in
Yeah, whatever.
Oregon Trail with you?
No.
He ran an Oregon Trail a couple weeks ago that was literally
and
all of us.
no,
It's like,
everybody.
Yeah.
Oregon
Oh, wow.
Trail, not Oregon Trail. It's a zombie version of Oregon Trail called
that.
And
Oregon.
there's 5
Right.
people that you have in your party, so
Yeah.
he used all of us.
So wacky.
And me, Mitch, and Sparky all made it. You died from
died.
I
something.
think I got infected, but I made
And
it.
you got infected, but you still made it. And what happened with you was you literally just wandered off and never came back.
That's what it said. Like I just went off into the
Yeah,
wasteland.
you just wandered away and never returned.
What the fuck, man?
That's what we were saying. We're like, where
He's
the
a
fuck's
guy.
Ian go? Why's Ian
He
gone?
wandered off, and he's never come.
So I guess this is a common thing. is
Oh.
you just go off to pee or something, and you just never come
Something.
back.
and you're just gone. You're not part of the dream anymore. That's right. That's great.
I think the only this was like back in high school. I had this one dream that I made a point to remember just because it was so weird in my opinion. I have some family out in Texas, and they're people of wealth, and they have these big fancy party things, and most of the time I'm just kind of like, too rich for my blood, stuff
Right.
like that.
Don't
Like,
touch anything.
They're one of the many people who are like, "Oh, we didn't know what to get for food, so we got this exquisite kind of
Veal.
this cuisine." And I'm the guy who'd be like, "Oh, can I have a hamburger?" What?
You
kind of
got
like
any
that.
beer?
You
Normal beer.
got like a kind of regular beer. No, this is exquisite vodka from the berries of yonder or wherever. I don't know. Stuff like that.
Out of beer.
Stuff like that. I don't know. I'm trying to make an example.
I got you.
So,
Made from the tears of peasants in the Russian wilderness. Ah, exquisite.
yes.
Delightful.
Delightful.
So,
I can taste it.
So
The
for
tears.
like, I don't think it was Mardi Gras, but for like one night we rented like this big yacht that just went around the pier and we'd throw up beads because we were like,
Right.
So I think that's why I dreamt this up. So in the dream I wake up and naturally, the dream's already in motion and we're partying on this yacht. I'm like, "Oh, this is fun," but we're nowhere near like civilization. I'm like, "Oh, this is fun," and it's like my whole family. Most of them I don't talk to on a regular basis, and like a handful of random people. So I'm like, "Oh, we're doing whatever." And they're like, "All right, guys, get ready. It's coming up soon." And I'm like, "What's coming
What?
up?" And I jump up to like to the top of the boat, and I look over, and I see we're going like straight for like a waterfall. It's just like a movie. was like, oh.
Get ready.
And so, like, I come back downstairs, I'm like, are we not worried? They're like, no, it's gonna be awesome. And I'm like, And so normally in dreams, if you know, according to Inception science, if you fall, you normally wake up, which is I find true. So we're on the boat, and the boat starts tipping, and I'm holding on to like a pole, and I'm like, and I'm like, oh, this is terrible. And we go, and then come right back up, because boats float like that.
Oh, sure.
Especially like giant yachts.
They just
They just go down and go right back up,
right.
And so I was still awake for this, or not,
Asleep awake.
I was still asleep awake in the dream, and so I'm like shaking it off, being like, what? And the family's like, oh, that was great. And then I'm just
Let's do it again.
And so I'm just looking at them like, where are we? What was going on? They're like, oh, I think this is the part for round 2. And I'm like, are you serious? And I poke my head out, and I see an even bigger waterfall. Like, I see it from my eyes, and then I almost see it as if from a camera, like zooming out to show like how big it is.
Yeah.
And so I'm going, and then we start falling. We're like, whoa, and I'm freaking out. And my friend was like, wee. And then this time I woke up. I just went, what?
Do you ever have like that like leftover bits from the dreams? Like you wake up and it's like, oh, I gotta get to the walrus to
take
make
his
him
tea.
pancakes. Oh,
Yeah.
because it's Tuesday. Wait.
That almost never happens to me. I
that?
retain almost nothing I ever do.
Sometimes if I'm really groggy, like for half a
usually-
second, I'm still like, oh, I gotta apply dream logic to the real
It usually
world.
still makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, and then it's gone. And you're like, man, I just.
I'm like, wait, what?
I tell you, I'm going to try and hold on to this tornado thing for as long as I as long as I
Please
can,
do.
because the only other dream from like my whole life that I remember having is a really it's another weird one because it has a twist ending.
Oh, I love those.
But it's really brief because most of it's just me wandering through like a haunted house.
Nice.
Like I'm like trapped in like an abandoned house and I'm trying to find my way out. There's like trapdoors and closets and shit everywhere.
Okay.
And it's just like I spend like hours and hours of dream time trying to get out of this house, which just means I probably dreamed about it for 3 minutes.
Right. Sure.
So at the end of my dream, I like see the door out, like the door's open. There's like light, and you're like, oh my god, that's the way out. So I'm on my way out, and this old man like is like in the other corner of the room, and he like beckons me over.
It's a magic man.
It's Magic Man. So I don't know. In Dream World, I apparently decided escaping wasn't that important, and I was going to go talk to this guy instead. And so this guy was all like, "I'm going to help you out of this house," and I was like, "Okay, sure." Even though
There's a door, like right over there. But hey, man, whatever.
Take like glow sticks and start waving toward it.
that way, kid.
He
that
throws
way.
you right out the door.
So I'm like, "Oh, okay," and then like there's just kind of a poof, and then I'm like a giant toothbrush. And he's like taking a bubble bath, and I'm scrubbing his bathtub with my face, which is a toothbrush.
What an
And then I wake up.
You should have gone through the door, man. Should have gone through the fucking door.
That's brilliant.
Wow.
I've held on to that. I was like
brilliant.
10 or 11 when I dreamed that, and I've held on to that for a
At
long
least
time.
he wasn't using you to like
That's
scrub himself.
awesome.
Like it
Yeah,
wasn't.
well, maybe if I had been older and I'd had that dream, it would have come to that.
Scrubbing his
I think I was
balls.
still. I think I was still innocent enough that the worst I could think of was having to scrub his bathtub. You
That's
know?
pretty
Like,
bad.
That's fantastic.
yeah, that dream took a weird turn.
Wow.
So I just remember that. I'm like, the worst nightmare I ever had was when an old man turned me into a toothbrush.
That's like a Goosebumps short story or something. Because then you'd wake up and it would happen in real
Well, it
life.
makes sense
yeah.
because I read that shit when I was.
Oh,
Yeah.
so the dream. Ah!
Oh no, I am a toothbrush!
So
I
okay,
wake up
Go back
again.
to sleep.
I got a quick one for you. This is apparently a dream that a buddy of mine had, but
Okay.
was so. I think I told you guys this. I don't know if I've told Brandon this. And this was a dream that my buddy Will had when I was living with those guys. And he just goes, I had such a weird, vivid dream. I remember most of it. Mitch, you were a key player in this. I was like, oh, okay. So what happened? And he's like, so we're all in this mall. We're hanging out and just having a good time. And then suddenly, like, this guy tells us to go to this one. We go to, like, this arcade. And we're all having a fun time. This one guy goes, oh, guys, you should check out our new whatever super duper thing. And he's like, it's that room right there. It's like down this long corridor, and there's this door. And so for some reason, all of us were like, all right, we're kind of unsure about it, but we'll go check it out. So apparently, I'll go in, open the door. It's all black. Someone like switches like one of those big switches, you know, like one of
Turn on
the
the
don't
light.
turn on the third switch, you know, one of those style.
turns it on, and there's like candy canes and snowmen, and like it's just snowing, and all these snowmen, like evil snowmen, apparently start like coming towards us. And according to him, I was very loud and was like, "Guys, it's a Christmas room!" And pull out an assault rifle and start shooting snowmen. And the whole time in this dream, apparently I'm going like, "Yeah!" And then everyone was like, "Oh,
Like,
okay."
it's a common occurrence, and you should keep your AK on you just in case you run into one. It's a Christmas tree.
So, even though
Let's
it's
unload on these motherfuckers.
and then apparently he woke up, and so even though it's
Oh.
not my dream, I treasure it because my
Because
response
you are the
is,
star.
"Oh, it's a Christmas room!"
This is the natural thing to do.
and I love it
Oh my god, that's
because
great.
clearly
Extra level.
some part of
Secret
whenever you have a
room.
dream, you normally imprint like your friend. If you have a friend in it, normally it's them,
Yeah.
like as you see them.
You know, just
So I was
get on
very
a bus with a bunch of
touched
strangers.
that my personality went to immediately him going, "Oh, it's a Christmas room." So I take a little bit of pride in that. You know, I probably should.
Love being the star of it.
No, it's good. It's good stuff. Christmas room. I'm gonna remember that. All right. Well, we're hitting a time mark. Does anyone have anything they want to get out there?
No, I'm good. We can go ahead and wrap it up here.
I think Christmas Carol is coming to one of the many theaters, which isn't a big deal because everyone does Christmas Carol.
OTC is doing Christmas Carol.
How do you know? Oh yeah,
Because I go to that school and I see things. They're doing a performance of that at the
5 Bob
Lois.
Cratchits in the metro area. Yeah.
that's
That's
lovely.
usually how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything to plug. Me, myself, and I am wrapping up work on my music video, which
Excellent.
may very well show up on our Facebook page.
I'd like it to, yeah.
Or will probably make the internet in some form or another. So
Exciting.
keep your eyes peeled for that.
No, I'm getting the test reel, which is just using one of the
Oh,
Super 8 cameras. I'm finally getting the footage back.
Sweet.
I
Nice.
just have to go pick it up tomorrow.
excellent.
I missed it today. But yeah, I'll get the test set and we'll probably start.
Nice.
We can
Looking for a
work on
location.
some stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I need to talk to the friends, because both of you have like, oh, I have a friend who has a cabin in the woods. I'm like,
Yeah.
talk to that friend.
Let's see
It's going to turn out to be
on.
the same friend, same cabin. Like, damn it!
Probably.
Half of the ground that I thought
Oh,
we'd
you
cover.
know that guy.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like the Community episode where he's like, "Wait, it's the same bar." Yeah.
It's the same cabin.
the same cabin.
But yeah, we'll probably get started on that pretty soon.
Exciting.
Brandon, anything on the video game front?
Melting Lard is now a work in progress. My friend has become
A work in progress.
is becoming a work in progress. Yes. Melting Lard is officially on the stove cooking.
Excellent.
My friend is helping me make sounds and music. He even bought like a mic and everything, like a Blue Yeti mic. He bought a Blue Yeti mic. He's so
Nice,
serious
nice.
about making music and shit. He spent 9 hours making some, just like copying some songs to like learn how to do it.
Sure.
He's making sound effects and shit from the crap in our apartment.
Awesome.
Yep.
And he's got the ear for that kind of thing. So shout out to Adam.
Yeah.
That's really cool. In one of my classes last semester, we did a couple sound design projects where our teacher gave us like a reel of footage from like a film or something, but he cut out all the sound and he was like, "Make sound for this." And I was like,
Cool.
I kind of suck at this, but
It's
it
a cool
gives me
idea
an
for a
appreciation for the people who actually do this.
Yep.
Yeah, the Foley artists.
Yeah. So no, I got a lot of respect for that sort
Yeah,
of
so he's got like he's making
Takes
sounds
me
like lasers and like explosions and like picking up keys and bombs and bottles and stuff like that. It's
That's
pretty
cool.
Cool.
So,
Yeah, that's a very interesting job. All the different sound effects. It makes for great trivia in movies too.
Mm-hmm. He made that sound by scratching on a piece of aluminum foil with a rake.
Stuff like that. Well, like the twist. The one I always remember is the one in Twister. Like the sounds of the tornadoes are like
It's
camels.
camels.
Yeah,
It's
it's
camels.
the sound of
I
camels.
think I told you that. I found out
Yeah.
that. But it's like that's a noise that like camels make, and they like slightly
just-
distorted it a little bit.
Uh-huh.
But like the twisters themselves
It's
are like the sound
terrifying
of
to think
camels.
If you guys have ever seen it's an old anime. It's called Evangelion. It's a
Heard of
giant
it.
mech
Oh,
one.
yeah.
It's
We
a
all
very,
heard of it.
it's a very well-known cult one. If you watch it, you might have a breakdown. A buddy of mine did apparently. But one of the coolest things at any time in the show is whenever the main unit goes berserk, it always has this very definitive like roar. And I've
Right.
never known what it was. And a buddy of mine who loves it did a lot of research into it. He's like, yeah, it's originally like that's like a sheep. He's like, "Are you serious? It sounds nothing
angry
like a sheep." Like, because when you hear it, you're like, "Oh," you know, they add stuff to it. But I'm like, "Yeah, it's a sheep." But I'm like, "That's terrifying."
That's great.
No, they didn't even modify it. They just got this really weird sheep.
You just found him. It was like the one cloned sheep.
The
first
Godzilla
one.
roar, you know, like the
Yeah.
Godzilla
Oh, yeah.
roar. I think that's done from this guy like scratching his electric guitar while freaking out the amp or something like that.
Cool.
Like that's what it's from. It's
That's
just
cool.
a fucking guitar riff or something like that.
I was in a camera camp kind of thing. I don't know really how to classify it. Like in middle school, where it was like for 2 weeks, and we had to do. So it was mostly based on like I don't even remember, like the 48-hour project kind of idea.
Uh-huh.
And one of
Make a
ours,
movie in 2 days. Kind of
yeah. So, but all of our movies had to have like so many similar things.
Yeah,
like
that's
we had to
just-
have
that's
one
just like the,
one same named character, one prop to show up in one moment, and one line of dialogue.
Yeah.
And in our film, we were doing like kind of our attempt at like a murder mystery thing. And one of the things is the girl reveals herself as the bad guy, and the janitor shows up and like smacks her in the face with a broom. So to make a sound effect, we took like these 2 big wooden cubes and we banged them together and made this really good sound. So when we showed everyone and we edited it together, really good timing. So we showed everyone went, "Oh! Did you actually hit her?" Like, "No, it's a sound effect." And they're like, "Oh."
That's awesome. I had like the opposite effect. Once.
What do you mean?
That was like the first video project I did, the one where I made you guys run around the
Oh, the
parking
parking
garage.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like that one.
And
I
Chris
still
like
wanna see
clotheslines you and knocks you over.
Yeah. Oh.
They had like the worst sound in the
What
world
was it?
for it. It's like somebody like punching a
Ow.
piece of ham or something. Like,
I would have really played it up. I like using we've got a folder full of like just generic
Yeah.
videos,
Yeah.
and there's like 7 explosion noises. I would have just that one. I love using explosion noises in any of my movies.
Do you still have that
The
movie,
one-
by the way?
yeah, it's somewhere.
I
I'm
still
trying
need to
get
see
David
it.
to find it. But like the generic sounds, you've probably been access to
Yeah.
like sound.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
The
Just like a
generic
guy going,
sounds that are
"Wah!"
picking up. Yeah.
You know?
They're really bad. Most
Yeah.
of them
Ow.
are really terrible. It's kind of fun to like go through and just. Oh my god. The best ones you find are like ambient noise. People usually have pretty good ambient noise.
Crickets and
Right.
Traffic, like traffic, you usually find good traffic. But if it's anything oddly specific, or even just one of those intense sounds
Gunshot.
like explosions,
Bang.
or even like creaking on the floor, it can be really bad. I don't know.
it's like
That door sound effect. That one door sound effect. in every
Like it sounds like the
video game.
floor is going
Party
to
too.
break because it's so creaky, you know. But yeah. Oh, sound effects.
So yeah, melting lard up in
Melting log.
sorry
Yeah.
up in operation.
It is melting, yes.
It's just melting in the process of.
I am making items right now and like implementing them in scripts so you can people can upload whatever the hell they want for items and
Nice.
You know, an item people are going to upload is going to be like dicks, right?
that's okay.
Okay.
The penetrator.
If they want dicks,
There's always at least 80 online.
if they want dicks in their game, they can have dicks in there.
Okay.
I
I'm
will
not
give
going to
them the
stop.
tools to
Freedom
have
of
dicks.
dicks to all.
They
of
have
them.
the tools. The game is very modified in its current state.
That's
I
still
plan
really
to leave it
cool.
That way.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm just making content like I told Mitch the other week.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So yeah, that's what's happening. And I told about the Tumblr, and we're linked into there. I think. Yeah.
Awesome.
And we can probably easily post a link again to keep that.
That's
Sure.
How's the blog, Andrew?
Slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of injected all of my strength into Rocktober, and
amazing.
November was a slow one.
You have
Well,
so
and
much-
part of it was just like all the music just went away. You know, like
There wasn't really.
there hasn't been any major releases in the last couple months. Now it's like we're hitting like a big rap thing now, and like that doesn't help me at all. Like Childish Gambino's new album just leaked.
Oh,
You should do
did it
Christmas
really?
albums.
Yes!
because I hate Christmas music.
Exactly.
Like every fiber of my being.
Exactly.
I could start up a blog that's like I hate Christmas music and
I
just
would read
post
it.
scathing reviews of every Christmas song I hear.
That's
Could you?
ever
all
existed.
5 of them.
That's not an awful idea, actually. I might work on that.
The soundtrack to
Write this
Elf.
down.
Every Alvin and Chipmunks.
My favorite Christmas album is 6 a.m.'s Heroin Diaries soundtrack, which is a concept album about Nikki Sixx's recollection of his heroin addiction, and some of the songs revolve around Christmas time.
I
And
remember
it
that.
really gets me all cheery and in the mood.
I'll bet it does. It's like anti-Christmas.
Yep. The first track is like jingle bells and shit. And he's like talking about doing heroin.
Very Christmas.
It's great stuff. So yeah, that's what's going on with me. It's
not a bad
I don't
idea
know, like,
for-
well, part of it is I've had a busy month at school. 'Cause
Sure.
everything's
Everybody
really
has all
busy.
this
yeah.
thing.
I'm really looking forward to getting out
Yes.
because basically I have a couple finals next week, but basically after tomorrow I'm home free.
Nice.
It's just a couple finals, so I'm really looking forward to having some free time. And
That's great.
my birthday's
And
coming
payday.
up.
Yeah, man.
Play more payday.
Play some payday.
It's gonna
Get
be
some birthday shit. We could talk about this off air, but I'm gonna give a plug to Barcade anyway.
Yeah, man.
We need to go to Barcade
good. Okay.
We do.
this week and definitely next week. I hear tell that they have acquired an Xbox One.
Whoa.
So
Wow.
Killer Instinct then.
yeah, so that's a thing.
Well, I have
But
to
there's our plug for
try it.
Barcade for the week.
Cool.
Because I feel like we talk about them all the time, but
Yeah.
they deserve it.
they
We
do.
love that place. But yeah, anyone else? Anything to plug?
No, I think.
I want to mention that we're all on the same side of the table. We're like the Last Supper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I am Jesus.
You are.
I like to
Jesus.
think this Powerade is Jesus, right?
Jesus is power.
Oh, when the light's like behind the
That's his
power,
blood.
so it's like his halo. Perfect.
Okay, when I was a kid, they said that this is Jesus' blood, and I was the one kid in church who was like, does anyone have a problem with that?
It's delicious.
Should we be drinking?
Why do people always look
Why do
slightly
we
grossed out when
drink
they
it
drink it?
with
Man,
Anyway.
crappy
the bread
crackers?
they had at church was awesome.
Yeah, what church were you going to?
Yeah, we had like terrible wafers.
No,
Same
we
here.
had good.
Yeah.
We had quality stuff.
Quality
It was like the
crackers,
bread
man.
had to be bad because you're not supposed to enjoy it. Like, that was
Exactly,
the
yeah.
impression I got. Like,
No,
you're
it was
supposed
the
to
opposite
eat
for
it,
me. I
man.
was like, I want more of this. That was the most enjoyment I got out of church.
He was eating the little.
that little taste of bread and grape juice. All right, now that I've blasphemed a bit,
Yeah, that's a good.
let's
one.
wrap this
That's a
thing
good
up.
one.
I guess we got nothing else to say. So starting on my left,
I am Brandon.
Ian.
Mitch.
and I am Andrew. As always, rate and review on iTunes.
Jake,
like
suck
us
it.
on Facebook.
Jake's so good.
Jake sucks because he's still not here. And keep your eyes peeled for a new project that we're going to be working on very, very soon. It will be comic book related, and we're excited to be doing it. So.
And possibly coffee related.
And possibly
But we'll
comic
see.
related. If you like comic books, keep your eyes peeled. We definitely
I
have
like
something
comics that I
that you
watch.
will like on the horizon. You should watch because
If you like coffee, you should just have coffee.
You should
and
just go to
listen it.
Starbucks.
Kind of like show up and like just sit like behind.
we're trailing off again. This is ridiculous. Rate and
right.
review on iTunes. It's been another great week. We will see you guys next week.
Goodbye.
Working progress. Bye.